Right now at 10, flooding forces evacuations, but the weather's changing again. What to expect tomorrow? Cleaned out with just one phone call. The new scam that's so timely. Thousands all over the country are falling for it. And Gracie's got a new set of wheels, new video, and what may be the best sign yet.
Live from the KDKA Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh. This is KDKA TV News at 10 on the CW.
Warmer temperatures today. Rain and melting snow cause flooding around the area today, but tonight the weather is changing. Good evening, I'm Ken Rice. A round of cold air moving in. Hopefully one of the last freezes of this year's brutal winter, and depending on where you live, you're going to see some snow. Here's Chief Meteorologist Jeff Rosella.
Yeah, it's going to be location dependent as to how much accumulation will accrue, if you will, overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, with the general trend being areas north of the city will see much less than areas south of the city. And that's what's setting up right now. On Viper radar, you can see the snow is most widespread and will be steadiest from the city on southward, and specifically south of Interstate 70. That's where the heaviest accumulations will occur overnight tonight. While you get north of the city, and the snow is going to be lighter, it's going to be more intermittent, and there's going to be a sharp gradient where it cuts off altogether. Here's a look at what to expect then moving forward. Snow showers overnight, more accumulation south versus north. Snow showers will be ending first thing tomorrow morning, and then cold with clouds in the afternoon. And here's a breakdown of what to expect in terms of accumulation. 1 to 3 inches with, again, a very sharp cutoff line as you get near Butler, and Newcastle may get little or nothing at all. Meantime, from I-70 on south, the totals jump to the 3 to 6 inch range, with really the 6-inch value most likely as you get into northern West Virginia. More details on my full forecast coming up.
Jeff, thanks. The rise in temperatures today caused snow and ice on the rivers to melt. People in low-lying areas and next to creeks were forced from their homes. Some had to be rescued by boat. Emergency crews were going door to door checking on people in part of Beaver County. Ralph Iannotti reports.
This sign behind me here in Beaver County tells the story. It was the rapid rise of fast-moving water in Raccoon Creek, causing it to overflow its banks. The localized flooding, which resulted in several evacuations and the closing of Independence Road, occurred near a bend in Raccoon Creek.
I was surprised to see it this high. Yikes. Like I said, this looks like the whole thing coming in here.
The water backed up quickly, and just as quickly, a Beaver County water rescue team arrived on Shady Lane to help people like Debbie DePari, who was temporarily trapped in her trailer by the rising icy waters.
I work third shift, so when I came home this morning at 6 a.m., I went to bed, and I woke up at 2 o'clock to this flooding. And I had to call the 911, and they came and they rescued me.
Ben DeLewis used a canoe to pick up his dad and take him home after their house was surrounded by water. It's not the first time he's had to do something like this.
Every year. Like when it all melts, it all just comes all up.
We're not sure where the actual jam is, but because of that, it got up into the yards pretty quickly. The rest of this road is flooded, and we did have to go back and rescue 2 people from their homes.
Homeowner Karen Katsapotis was told she should get out of her home for her own safety, but she said she was staying put.
How do you respond to somebody who says, hey, don't live by a creek, you're asking for it?
I love it. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
As the cleanup continues, and with the colder temperatures now, people who live alongside this creek are hoping the worst is over. In Independence Township, Ralph Iannotti, KDKA TV News on Pittsburgh, CW.
In Westmoreland County, crews rescued several people who live along Loyal Hannah Creek. More than 2 feet of water flooded homes in the community of Red Rock, not far from Hempfield. The waters rose so quickly they were rescuing people by boat there as well. Neighbors said it's the worst flooding they've seen in years. Flooding also forced evacuations in Ligonier. Boats rescued people along Darlington Road overnight after icy waters surrounded their homes. A flood warning in that area remains in effect tonight. And some pretty severe flooding in the Morgantown, West Virginia area. Authorities are worried about ice jams in several creeks. Emergency crews say the water was up by about 5 feet in some places. The governor put West Virginia's National Guard on standby. The Pittsburgh Parking Authority isn't taking any chances. The Mon Wharf parking area is closed until further notice. Today, water was inching up over the banks and onto the pavement. Of all of the rivers, a local hydrologist tells John Shumway there's one in particular that we should be keeping a close eye on.
Powered by more than 2 inches of rain over the highlands and a lot of snowmelt, the Youghiogheny River's ice had crushed its way downriver and come to a stop today behind Dave Joseph's home in Boston.
It's awesome. I think it's great. I mean, not to the damage it does, but to see that water come down with all that ice moving, it's something to see.
The Josephs and their neighbors watched all afternoon as the water filled their backyards and approached their homes.
Those ice jams just kind of move on their own. They're unpredictable.
The folks at the National Weather Service are monitoring the flow minute by minute and watching their river meters spike when a jam sets up shop.
Basements are going to start flooding.
The largest jam forming at the McKeesport Marina and backing up almost 2 miles above Boston.
Hopefully it'll move out into the Mon River without any problems and causing any flooding along the area around Boston, Pennsylvania.
Fortunately, the Mon is expected to crest without too many issues, and the Allegheny River ice, which saw mostly snow, remains frozen in place.
We lucked out in terms of the Allegheny.
And for Dave and his neighbors, with a cracking and a snapping, the ice jam here broke just before 5 o'clock this afternoon. Is there relief?
Oh, yeah. I was just about ready to open up my cellar door and start hauling stuff out. I was just about ready to do it. It wasn't stopping, but just like that. That's amazing.
John Shumway, KDKA TV News on Pittsburgh CW.
For a couple of bus drivers, their morning routes came to a halt. Slick conditions in Carrick caused at least 2 buses to get hung up on Madeline Street. One bus started sliding down the hill, so another driver decided to just put it in park and wait for help.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 9.5, because you could fishtail, and if you fishtail, you could hit somebody's car, you could slide down. It's really scary.
Neither bus was carrying kids. Eventually, crews did show up and spread some salt. The weather might have played a role in this, a semi-trailer crashing into a house. This is at the bottom of a steep hill at Camellia and Christopher Streets in Stanton Heights. The truck was hauling metal pieces. It crashed into the garage. The driver's okay. Snow and dangerous travel conditions forced Penn State to close its main campus for the first time in 8 years. Classes will resume tomorrow. The last time they canceled classes in State College for an entire day was in 2007 when they got a foot of snow. Get the latest weather and traffic conditions when you wake up on the KDKA TV Morning News. We get you going early tomorrow morning at 4:30. Now, a local tax collector accused of stealing a large amount of public money is officially out of a job. Tonight, council members accepted her resignation. Paul Martino reports.
Bewilderment, anger, and dismay here in the borough of Baden after they accepted the resignation of the longtime tax collector Wednesday night amid reports that a large amount of money is missing. The borough's council meeting ended as quickly as it began. Without comment, council accepted the resignation of tax collector Cynthia Christek, but borough residents wanted some answers, and they didn't get any.
I asked them, did Baden lose any money? Oh, we can't say that. It's pending.
It turns out it's not the tax collector who's the focus of this investigation. It's her husband, Keith Christek, the deputy tax collector, former Baden cop and a constable. He's taking responsibility for the missing cash. Baden's mayor says there was a lot of scheming going on.
It's the old scheme where they would take certain money from the Baden account, transfer it to the school district, from the school district to Baden, and it's just a matter of time before you get caught.
In a small town like Baden, everyone knows everyone and trusts everyone. So longtime Baden Councilman Robert Bisong is taking it personal.
I used to go to his house and at Christmas time pretend I was Santa Claus because he had such a bunch of children, you know. And I'd go over there, and it hurt me a lot.
We have too many seniors here in Baden that are getting ripped off.
It could be a long time before we get to the bottom of exactly what happened here. The Beaver County District Attorney is investigating, and there is a lengthy audit underway right now. Reporting from Baden, Paul Martino, KDKA TV News on Pittsburgh CW.
The nightclub in the Strip District where there was a shooting last weekend is shutting down. The owner of Ivy Pittsburgh met with the DA's office today and agreed to close and surrender the club's liquor license. The owner of Ivy Pittsburgh said the overall well-being of the Strip District is more important. A former local high school football player is facing charges involving minors. Virginia Tech running back Shay McKenzie is accused of having sex with 2 underage girls in Virginia. He's a graduate of Washington High School. Virginia Tech has suspended him from the team indefinitely. A student is now facing charges for attacking another girl at a local high school. Aliquippa police say the 17-year-old girl seen throwing punches while the other girl's on the floor. is charged with assault. The student who recorded it was reportedly told ahead of time where to be to capture the whole thing.
I wanted her hurt, not necessarily in a physical way, but I want this to have to follow her throughout the rest of her life, where she has to go and explain why she attacked me.
I know she feels violated, like she don't have no protection from the school.
The school says the students involved have been disciplined. A man accused of trying to kidnap a teenage girl by pretending to be a police officer will stand trial. Police say William Dursey pulled up to the girl as she was walking in New Kensington. The girl took some pictures and recorded their conversation on her phone. Police say Dursey is heard saying, "I'm a cop, I want you to get in." Remember Gracie? She's the Beagle mix found badly injured on the side of a road in Penn Hills back in January. Well, the Animal Rescue League posted this new video on its Facebook page. As you can see, Gracie's got her own set of wheels now. They say she's making great progress and that she's gained some control now in her back legs. Her tail says it all, but just to eliminate any doubt, they confirm Gracie is very happy. The Westmoreland County Humane Society is running out of kennel space and it needs help. There are plans to build a new kennel, but so far they don't have enough money. They've raised $69,000, but the project will cost at least $250,000. It's asking for donations through its webpage. People's bank accounts wiped out with just one phone call. The scam the IRS wants you to know about. Plus, fighting the flu. New findings reveal why adults are less likely to get sick than kids. And this is seriously crazy. How a lion opened a car door. The video you got to see.